If you'd told me this morning that by sunset, my entire life would change on a rain-slicked highway, I would have laughed through my exhaustion. But to all of you watching right now, this is the moment I almost lost everything, and the moment I learned what it truly means to be a family. Stick with me until the end of this story, because it's a reminder that even in our darkest hours, hope can arrive in the most unexpected ways. If this story touches your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It helps us share more inspiring tales like this one. My name is Leo, and for the past 3 years, I've been a single dad to the two brightest stars in my universe, my 7-year-old twin daughters, Chloe and Sophie. Our life wasn't always small. There was a time of a big house and even bigger dreams, but that life vanished when my wife, Isabella, walked out, chasing a corporate empire that had no room for peanut butter sandwiches or bedtime stories. She left a void filled only by the relentless, grinding love of single parenthood. My world shrank to the size of a cramped apartment, a struggling auto repair shop, and the two small hands I held on the walk to the school bus stop every single morning. The challenges were a constant, silent hum in the background of our lives. It was the panic of a missed rent payment, the guilt of serving mac and cheese for the third night in a row, and the heartache of answering questions like, "Daddy, does mommy not love us anymore?" I'd pour all my love into them, but I could never quite shake the fear that I wasn't enough, that the shadow of the life Isabella now lived, a life of luxury and headlines, would forever make my simple, steadfast love seem inadequate. The day it happened started like any other. Rain fell in steady, gray sheets. I'd just picked the girls up from school. Chloe was chattering about her art project, Sophie humming a tune beside her. We were on the bus, the three of us squeezed into one seat, their small bodies warm against mine. The bus was filled with the familiar, comforting chaos of children. Then, the world tilted. It was a smell first, acrid and wrong. Smoke. Then, a collective gasp from the driver. A small electrical fire, sparked by frayed wiring near the engine, had begun to lick hungrily at the floorboards near the front. Panic is a quiet thing at first, a frozen second before the scream. Then it erupted. The bus driver, a hero in her own right, was yelling, ushering kids toward the emergency exit at the back. But the fire was growing, a snarling beast of orange and black, spreading faster than seemed possible, fueled by the upholstery and the fear. Thick, toxic smoke began to fill the cabin, a choking blanket that stung our eyes and clawed at our throats. I grabbed my girls' hands, their small fingers gripping mine with a terror that broke my heart. We joined the frantic scramble toward the back, but a shriek from Sophie stopped me cold. "Mr. Bubbles!" she cried, her voice a piercing arrow of despair. Mr. Bubbles was her beloved, threadbare stuffed whale, left behind on our seat. In that split second, I saw their tiny, smoke-smudged faces, wide-eyed with a fear no child should ever know. The fire was now blocking the main aisle. The back exit was a tangled press of bodies. We were trapped at the front. The driver was on the radio, her voice cracking with urgency, but the fire trucks felt a world away. The heat was becoming unbearable. "Stay here," I yelled over the roar of the flames, pushing them low to the floor where the air was slightly clearer. "Don't move." My mind was a frantic prayer. "Not my girls. Please, not my girls." I looked around for anything, a fire extinguisher, a window hammer, but the smoke was too thick. I could hear Chloe coughing violently, Sophie sobbing. This was it. The one thing I had dedicated my life to preventing was happening, and I was powerless. I wrapped my arms around them, pulling them as close as I could, using my body as a shield, whispering promises I wasn't sure I could keep. "Daddy's here. I've got you. I love you." I prepared for the end, my love for them a final, desperate fortress against the inferno. And then, through the chaotic symphony of sirens and screams, a new sound cut through, the powerful, purring grow of a luxury engine. A car, a phantom of gleaming silver and polished grace, swerved onto the shoulder of the road, skidding to a halt just feet from the burning bus. It was a Rolls Royce. A car I'd only ever seen in the magazines Isabella left behind. The door flew open, and out she stepped. Time seemed to warp, to slow down. It was Isabella. But it wasn't the cold, distant executive who had left us. Her designer suit was already speckled with rain, her perfect hair whipping in the wind. Her face, usually a mask of composed indifference, was a raw canvas of pure, undiluted terror. Her eyes, the same shade of hazel as our daughter's, scanned the burning bus and locked directly onto mine through the smoke-streaked windshield. She didn't hesitate. While others stood frozen, she ran. She sprinted to the bus's front door, which was wedged partially open, a wall of heat pouring from it. A firefighter shouted at her to get back, but she ignored him. She braced herself against the scorching metal, and with a strength I didn't know she possessed, she pulled. The door gave way with a shriek of metal. "Leo!" she screamed, her voice not that of a CEO, but of a mother. A sound I hadn't heard in years. I didn't think. I acted. I scooped up a sobbing Sophie in one arm and a choking Chloe in the other, and I lunged for the opening. I half fell, half stumbled out of that helmet, collapsing onto the wet asphalt, my daughters clutched to my chest, coughing and crying, but alive. Alive. Isabella was there in an instant, on her knees in the rain, her arms encircling all three of us. She was weeping, her tears mixing with the rain on their faces, covering them with kisses, repeating their names like a sacred mantra. Chloe. Sophie. My babies. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The professional facade was gone. The woman holding us was the girl I'd fallen in love with, the woman who had held her newborns with a look of awe I'll carry to my grave. The fire crews descended, wrapping the girls in shock blankets, giving them oxygen. We stood there, the three of us, watching as the woman who had chosen a different path saved us from the one I couldn't. The irony was a physical weight. As the adrenaline faded, a profound silence fell between Isabella and me. The girls were safe in the back of an ambulance, being checked over. The bus was a smoldering shell. The rain had softened to a gentle mist. She looked at me, her mascara smudged, her suit ruined, her soul laid bare. I saw the years of missed birthdays and empty chairs at the dinner table in her eyes. I also saw the undeniable, ferocious love that had just propelled her through fire. She took a shaky step toward me. Her hands were trembling as she reached for mine. My own hands were scraped and dirty, a mechanic's hands, but she held them as if they were the most precious things she'd ever touched. "Leo," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "All these years, I thought I was building a legacy for them. A future of security and opportunity. But I was building it without them in it. I saw that bus, I saw the fire, and in that 1 second, I knew. I knew my empire, my money, my career, it was all just empty, glittering dust. The only thing that has ever mattered was in that bus." She swallowed hard, her gaze unwavering. "You have been their rock. Their hero. You've given them what I was too blind to see they needed, your presence. Your constant, unwavering love." Then, she did something that stole the air from my lungs. Still holding my hands, she slowly, deliberately, lowered herself to one knee on the wet pavement. The crowd, the first responders, the world itself seemed to fade away. She looked up at me, her eyes shining with tears and a love I thought was lost forever. "Leo," she said, her voice clear and strong now, ringing with a conviction that shook me to my core. "You have always been the heart of this family. I lost my way, but today, I found it again. Right here, with you, with our girls." She took a deep breath. "So, will you let me come home? Will you let me be the wife and mother I should have been all along?" A sob caught in my throat. It wasn't a proposal of a new beginning, but a plea for a restoration. A return to a love that had been tested by fire, both literal and metaphorical. I looked over at our daughters. Chloe was giving me a tiny, soot-streaked thumbs up. Sophie was clutching Mr. Bubbles, who a kind paramedic had miraculously retrieved, and she was smiling her first real smile of the afternoon. I looked back at Isabella, at the woman who had just run into a fire for us, and I saw not the ghost of our past, but the promise of our future. I pulled her to her feet and into my arms. "Yes," I whispered into her hair, the word carrying the weight of every lonely night, every struggled morning, and every hope for tomorrow. "Yes, our story is a testament to the fact that it's never too late. It's never too late to choose love. It's never too late to come home. Our family was forged in struggle, saved from a fire, and finally made whole in the rain on a highway, not by a grand gesture, but by a simple, powerful, 3-letter word. Yes, if you believe in second chances and the power of love, share this story. And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life miracles.